So it's come to my attention that the Pokemon TCG community doesn't really enjoy Paradox Rift as much as I do. And I'm not saying that Paradox Rift is going to be the best set ever, but I think it is very underrated and currently undervalued. With that being said, nothing in this video I say will be financial advice, it is just simply my opinion and predictions. The first thing that I want to talk about with Paradox Rift is its value right now. As I mentioned before, it is very undervalued for booster boxes and sealed product alike. You could also argue for the cards as well, but we'll get into that later in this video. As for the sealed product, the main thing you're going to go after are the sealed booster boxes. That's kind of what you want to base the success of a set off of financially, is what their booster box price is. And currently, Paradox Rift is the cheapest booster box you could get in the Scarlet and Violet era. I got these two under $90 each, and I have a third one on the way. And I'm kicking myself for not picking up sets like Fusion Strike when they were at that price as well. All of a sudden, everyone loves Fusion Strike, and I was pinned as a crazy person for saying how much I liked it back when it was still in print. So the price of booster boxes going up is inevitable at the price of under $90 per box. Now let's get into some more specifics on why I think Paradox Rift is a good set. Starting things off with the chase cards. Artwork in the set is amazing. It's the first time they introduced Paradox past and future forms of the Pokemon into the TCG, which should be a decently big deal. The two main chase cards is the Groudon illustration rare as well as the Roaring Moon special illustration rare, all of which are in my collection. Now, none of those cards are crazy in price right now. They aren't comparable to other Scarlet and Violet chase cards, but they have a respectable price and they have a pretty good average. Now, there are even more supporting chase cards that just emphasize on how deep this set is. To name a few, we got Iron Hands, Goldango, and the Garchomp. For the SIR trainer cards, we also have Professor Sada's Vitality as well as Parasol Lady. Now, the Parasol Lady isn't as crazy in English as it is in Japanese, but that's just a whole other discussion to have. But moving on to some notable IRs, we have the Yveltal, Morpeko, Plusle, and Minun, all of which being around $10 or above. And that's kind of rare to have in a set with so many cards being over $10. So I would argue the chase cards are there as well as the risk reward value that collectors get for opening the set. But what if I told you this set isn't going to be primarily opened by collectors? Another demographic you need to consider when talking about a Pokemon TCG set are the actual players. The popularity of playing the TCG has actually grown over the years, and right now it's at an all-time high. And this set has a ton of staple competitive cards for the TCG. Obviously, everyone knows about Earthen Vessel, but there's so many other cards that support the ancient and future Paradox Pokemon. And this is the first time we are seeing that type of Pokemon as well in the Pokemon TCG. When's the last time something like this happened in the TCG? When Fusion Strike was introduced with Fusion Pokemon and a ton of amazing supporting cards that supported Fusion Pokemon like Mew. And Mew was a staple in the TCG for so long. Some other competitive trainer cards out of this set consist of Counter Catcher, Luxurious Cape, the Technical Machine cards, Techno Radar, and Medical Energy. And now some competitive Pokemon cards out of this set consists of Jirachi, Morpeko, Roaring Moon EX, Goldango, and Gimmighoul, Natu and Xatu, and probably the best card out of this set that we'll see play throughout the entirety of its print run, Iron Hands EX. And I know I mentioned it a lot in this video, but again, with all these great competitive staples that we're going to see in the competitive side of the TCG, this set really does remind me of Fusion Strike. I'm not saying that this set is going to be better than Fusion Strike and outperform it, but it has so many qualities that Fusion Strike has that a lot of collectors didn't pay attention to. The fact that there's so many competitive staples in the set means that a lot of players are going to be opening it as well, which means there's going to be less sealed product for the long run. It also might mean that there's going to be a higher demand for it, but again, with Fusion Strike, it's going to follow a very similar path. The only difference with Fusion Strike is that it had one true chase card, being that Gengar VMAX alt art. So with that being said, I don't see this set outperforming Fusion Strike, but it's going to have a very similar story. And right now, Paradox Rift booster boxes are at the same price that Fusion Strike booster boxes were when it was at an all-time low. I literally had a case of Fusion Strike booster boxes in my cart, but I never checked out, and I wish I did. And again, this just goes for all sets. If there is a booster box under $90 and you want to buy a booster box and keep it sealed for a while, pick it up. Fusion Strike was once under $90 and now it is over $220. And with the depth that Paradox Rift has, who knows how well it will grow over time. At the end of the day, there isn't really a bad set out of Scarlet and Violet. And we have seen that with sets like Paldea Evolved. Everyone's going crazy over Paldea Evolved. There are some really cool cards in there. There's also some good competitive cards in there. The price of a booster box for Paldea Evolved is skyrocketing. And I would argue I enjoy Paradox Rift a whole lot more than Paldea Evolved. Sure, you have the chance of getting that Magic Harp, and I mean, it is a fantastic card to have in your collection, but there's just so much more going for Paradox Rift in my opinion. So I see this taking a bigger trajectory than Paldea Evolved has. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking of Paradox Rift. Let me know if you guys are planning on picking any boxes up, whether it be a booster box or an ETB. And as always, if you enjoyed this content, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.